What happens when a classic everyone loves gets turned into something nobody asked for? The live-action Snow White remake had fans and insiders seriously worried, and they were right. Theaters were half empty, the box office crashed by 50%, and the movie got slammed with a 1.6 rating on IMDb. It got even worse because they were using CGI actors instead of real people, led to lawsuits. Walt Disney warned against remaking it, but they didn't listen. If you want the real story behind this mess, watch this video. You won't believe how it all went down. New kind of Snow White. So, one of the biggest talking points around the movie was the casting of Rachel Zegler as Snow White. From day one, it was clear Rachel had her own vision for the character. She didn't just want to act in the movie, she wanted to overhaul the story. Rachel called the original Prince Charming a stalker and said this new Snow White wasn't about love or romance but about leadership. She even joked about needing higher pay for standing in a dress for 18 hours. People had mixed reactions, and things heated up so much that Disney assigned personal security to Gal Gadot, Rachel's co-star, after some threats came in. Rachel's attitude didn't win her many fans, and honestly, a lot of people felt like she wasn't respecting the character she was supposed to bring to life. Some even felt like she didn't really like Snow White at all. How Rachel landed in Hollywood. Rachel's journey to fame had started a few years earlier. Back in 2018, a friend sent her a casting call for Steven Spielberg's West Side Story. Rachel didn't have an agent, no Hollywood connections. She was just a regular teenager from New Jersey who sent in an audition tape and landed the lead role over 30,000 other girls. It was a big win, and Rachel was praised for her performance. She even won a Golden Globe for Best Actress in a Musical or Comedy. But not everyone was convinced it was just raw talent. Some thought maybe Rachel was an industry plant, someone backed by powerful insiders behind the scenes. After all, in a world full of famous Nepo babies, it felt almost too good to be true. Still, a lot of people were rooting for her. She wasn't born into fame, and that alone made her easy to cheer for at first. The controversy begins. Things started to sound weird when Rachel was announced as the new Snow White. Right after the news broke, she tweeted, "Yes, I am Snow White. No, I am not bleaching my skin for the role." She deleted it pretty quickly, but the internet never forgets. People weren't mad for the reasons you might expect. They were just confused. The original Snow White is literally named because she has skin as white as snow. It's part of the story itself. Changing that didn't make sense to a lot of longtime fans. This wasn't the first time Disney had faced questions about casting either. When they remade The Little Mermaid, they cast Halle Bailey as Ariel. But people were more forgiving there because mermaids aren't real, so why not? But Snow White's name and whole story are tied to her looks. That made this situation harder for people to accept. Changing the story and losing the fans. Rachel kept trying to explain that this version of Snow White wasn't about looks at all. She said it was inspired by a different version of the story, where the character's name came from surviving a snowstorm, not her skin tone. That could have worked if the rest of the movie honored the spirit of the original, but it didn't. Also, in interviews, Rachel kept emphasizing that Snow White wouldn't be saved by a prince, and that she was dreaming of becoming a leader. She said, "It's no longer 1937, making the old movie sound outdated. Now, modernizing stories isn't a bad thing. But when you're remaking a classic, a little respect for the original usually goes a long way." Fans didn't mind updates, they minded feeling like their love for the old movie was being dismissed. Rachel didn't help things when she jokingly called the original Prince Charming a stalker. At that point, a lot of people started checking out. Behind-the-scenes tension. You didn't have to be a body language expert to notice. Things were tense between Rachel and Gal Gadot during interviews. While Gal stayed professional, smiling and engaging, Rachel often looked down, fidgeted or stared off while Gal spoke. Later, reports confirmed there was tension between them, and it was about to get worse. When the trailer for Snow White dropped, Rachel used the moment to post "Free Palestine" on social media. Some praised her, but others felt like it was a jab at Gal, who is Israeli and had served in the military. Gal started getting death threats, and Disney had to hire security for her. It got serious fast. Damage control. Disney producers weren't thrilled, to say the least. Mark Platt, one of the producers, even flew across the country to have a face-to-face talk with Rachel. He reminded her that when you're leading a project worth hundreds of millions of dollars, you have to think about the bigger picture. His son later defended him online, saying that being reprimanded was just part of growing up and working professionally. It was harsh, maybe, but not wrong. However, Rachel's outspoken political opinions didn't stop there. She encouraged people to vote for Kamala Harris, told Trump supporters to unfollow her, and posted emotional reactions about politics, even mentioning raising her daughter, even though she doesn't have one. It wasn't just conservatives getting upset. Even some people who agreed with her politically felt like she was mixing personal activism into a project meant for kids and families. Trying to patch things up. After all the backlash, Disney made some moves behind the scenes. Rachel reportedly had to start working with a social media manager who approved her posts before anything went live. But honestly, by then, a lot of the damage was done. People weren't excited about Snow White anymore. They were tired of the drama. And when the movie finally hit theaters in March 2025, it didn't have much of a chance to recover. So that's the wrap-up. If you felt the same way about how this remake missed the magic, make sure to hit that like button. Drop a comment and don't forget to share this video with your friends and subscribe for more real talk just like this.